Are you intrigued by acupuncture or like me and just want to know a little more about it? Well, I have a very special guest with me tonight, Mr. Todd George from Charlotte Acupuncture. Welcome, Todd. We're so excited to have you, darling. Oh, he's got his needles in his hands. You got to move those. Well, I am amazed by acupuncture. I read a lot about it, but I really don't understand exactly what it does. And I know that you do a lot with pain management and headaches. So walk me through how you got started in working in the field of acupuncture and a little bit more about it so I can understand it as well as our viewers out there.
Well, sure. Well, thanks, Deborah. And I first got started with acupuncture. I kind of stumbled across it. I was out of college and I was working actually in the business world, and I met an acupuncturist in Princeton, New Jersey. I'm from the Philadelphia area originally. And I was intrigued by it. I've been interested in Asian culture and history since I was a child. I've done martial arts since I was a child. And I knew acupuncture existed, but I didn't realize that there were acupuncturists practicing in the United States. And meeting this gentleman and learning more about acupuncture, the philosophy behind it, I was just thoroughly intrigued and very interested, and decided to study acupuncture.
Right. In acupuncture, we're going to hold up your needle so our camera can get a nice little look at that. So that is a typical needle, and you use many of these, but that's what the needle looks like, correct?
Yes, this is a pretty standard needle. It's very, very thin. We use what's called a guide tube to insert the needle, because you can see it's so thin that it's flexible.
Absolutely.
And we use very thin needles because acupuncture doesn't need to be a painful process. We're often trying to relieve pain, and so that the thin needles are much different than getting an injection or having your blood taken. And they're solid needles. There's not a hole in it, and it's generally pretty painless.
Well, walk me through, if I came to you and I had migraines or just excruciating and you really couldn't find out where they were coming from and couldn't stop them. What treatment would you do? How many needles would you use? Where would you place the needles? And how many treatments would I need to see a difference?
Sure. Well, we would certainly review your medical history and make sure, if you've had conventional medical treatment, if you're on medications, that sort of thing, we would want to discuss that. We'd also want to discuss any triggers, any known triggers, and as well just kind of get a picture of your overall health.
Such as food you were eating or certain time or area that you were in, traveling. Sometimes it's traveling. So you just wanted a trigger as to when it occurred, when your headaches
That's correct.
were triggered on.
And so sometimes there's a pattern and sometimes there's not. But if there is a pattern, that'll certainly give us more information as to guide us in our treatment plan. I would say it really depends on the patient, but for something like migraine headaches, we may do something as intense as 10 treatments over a 6-week period of time if the migraines are very frequent. If they're not frequent, maybe once a month, something along those lines, we're going to spread that out. And if there is a pattern to when that migraine comes, we're going to maybe focus our treatments around those times.
And where would the needles be inserted?
Well, it depends. If it's a classical migraine and the patient has a migraine at that point, we typically don't put any needles in the head at all.
Right.
So most of the needles would actually go in the limbs, hands, elbows, those areas.
And I read that it can even help, acupuncture can even help with arthritis. Is that correct?
Well, it can help relieve the pain, and it can help relieve some of the inflammation.
Right.
But if it's something like osteoarthritis, where there's a degeneration in the joint, or rheumatoid arthritis, where there's an immune component to it, it's not going to, quote unquote, cure the arthritis, but it can certainly help with manage the pain. Yes.
Okay, Todd, let's get serious.
Okay.
Tell me the real benefit of acupuncture.
Well, acupuncture is using your own body to promote healing, relieve pain. So the biggest benefit is that there aren't many adverse effects. So whereas medications, there's certainly a time and place for them, and I certainly believe in conventional modern medicine. But the nice thing about acupuncture is we can just essentially stimulate your own body to heal itself.
Right, and it's all natural. There's no medication. It's just all very natural. Am I correct in that?
That's correct. That's correct.
Right.
We're not injecting anything into the body. We're just stimulating your body to relieve the pain.
Right, and I've been to an allergist before, and the needles look about the same size, and it probably is about the same, just little light prick, correct?
That's correct. Some people actually don't even feel that needles go in. They're that painless, and at most they might feel like a slight pinch or a slight sting that will last for 3 to 5 seconds.
And here on the Debra Kennedy Show, we're always about finding new and exciting things to bring to our viewers. And my makeup artist, Heather Richardson, had a terrible pinched nerve one day when she was doing makeup, and she was just in excruciating pain. And then the next day I saw her, she was just happy as a lark and pain-free. And she said the secret was her acupuncture king, Todd. So that's why we wanted to have you on, because if she got great relief from it, then it's something our viewers need to know about, because we're always looking for new and exciting things, but also things that are on the thrusting forefront of making a difference. And I love that it's, you don't have to use medication with it. It's all natural. And you seem so excited about your craft that you really do want to help people. And we're actually going to have your partner on in a future one, because she works with infertility, correct?
That's correct. That's the focus of her practice.
Right, absolutely. So we thank you so much for being our special guest tonight. Thank you for sharing your needles, and thank you for sharing your knowledge with our viewers out there. And we wish you the best of luck at Charlotte Acupuncture.
Well, thank you so much, Deborah.
Thank you. We hope that this has brought great anticipation to all of your questions and answered quite a few of those, because to me, quite honestly, I really didn't know a lot about acupuncture, and Todd has brought me great answers tonight, and I hope he has you as well.